Kia ora team. So a bit of a wrap up for the heavyweight action over the weekend. I was supposed to do a stream today, but I've got two sick kids at home, so no peace and quiet unfortunately, so apologies for that. I might be able to get one out tomorrow. But firstly, we had a couple of heavyweights find their level this weekend. Up and comers, we had Robert Alfonso facing Lago Kaladze. I did a video on this and I predicted Alfonso would win, but after I'd made the video I kind of had this feeling that after watching Alfonso have a couple of fights I've seen him on YouTube, I thought to myself, Lago Kaladze can box and maybe he could beat Alfonso. I didn't think too much of it. Now, I didn't manage to catch the fight live. I did watch a replay and it seemed my feeling could have been right. Lago Kaladze I thought was doing pretty well in the first 3 rounds, and I thought if he had have kept his foot on the gas for the rest of the fight, he could have won this fight, but it ended up a draw. So Robert Alfonso at 18-0 with 1 draw now has pretty much found his level, I think. Kaladze should have beaten him, I think. Could have beaten him, but kind of cruised for the last couple of rounds. Whether it was he was getting tired or he felt a bit of power from Alfonso, I don't know. But it is what it is. So Robert Alfonso, I don't think he's going to go too far. We also had George Arias face Keith Barr over the weekend. He didn't manage to get the win, unanimous decision, but watching the fight, Keith Barr had his moments in the fight, and it seems George Arias' lack of size is going to be a downfall as a heavyweight. He should have been able to beat Keith Barr. He's very much a mid-level journeyman, mid to low-level journeyman. So I think George Arias has pretty much found his level as well. He could beat a few other journeymen, I think, but once he gets up to gatekeeper level, if he gets that far, I think he's going to have real trouble, being only 6 foot. So also that is what it is. We had Marco Huck fighting on the weekend at heavyweight, and he took on another journeyman in Nick Guivas. He did put Guivas down convincingly, and after Guivas got up, they got into it again and they got in close. The ref called break and stop, and Marco Huck still threw 2 more punches. Guivas went down and couldn't continue. At the time it was called a win for Marco Huck, but less than 30 minutes after the fight it was changed to a no contest due to a foul and Guivas not being able to continue. So some might say a bit of bad luck for Marco Huck, but it's not the first time he's done this sort of thing. He threw punches after the bell against a guy, I can't remember his name, guy that Junior Farr fought last, and should have got disqualified in that fight as well. So a bit of ill discipline from Marco Huck cost him. He's got another no contest on his record, so once again it is what it is. And moving on to a bit higher level heavyweights, we had Joe Joyce fighting Alexander Ustinov on the Saunders Martinez undercard. Pretty much the conclusion everybody was expecting. I thought maybe we might get a few more rounds out of Ustinov, but at 42 years old, he just doesn't have the hunger to box anymore by the looks of it once he comes up against somebody who can bang, and Joe Joyce can bang. There's just no desire there anymore for him, and man, that fight, I thought watching it that it had been slowed down by like 25%. Both guys are slow as mud. I mean, I can understand Ustinov being as slow as he is. He's always been fairly slow, but he looks even slower than he always has. He's taken a few beatings in the last short time. Got stopped by Michael Hunter, got stopped by Manuel Char, so I think it's the end for Alexander Ustinov. Joe Joyce moves on to bigger and better things. He's throwing some decent heavy punches, going to the body nicely. I still would like to see Joe Joyce move his head a lot more. And man, his feet seem to be slow as. It's quite interesting considering the athleticism the man has when you see him doing his capoeira. After he has a fight, you know, you see him doing backflips and all sorts of crap, but his feet seem to be very, very slow. And his hands are very, very slow as well. But, you know, he has a really good engine. He keeps coming. It's like, left, right. It just keeps coming and coming. So, how far Joe Joyce will go, I don't know. Currently, he's still holding that bullshit WBA gold title. He's also holding the Commonwealth belt as well. And he's going to be fighting on the Dubois versus Gorman undercard. I think is on the 13th of July, somewhere there. Don't quote me on that, but somewhere around there. And he hasn't got an opponent as yet, so hopefully we're going to get to see him fight somebody decent. We'll see what happens there. I'd like to see him fight somebody who's, you know, legitimately ranked within a governing body's top 10 to see where he's actually at, because we haven't seen that as yet. I mean, it's a toss-up between Bermane Stiverne and Alexander Ustinov, who his best opponents are, and both of those guys are well past their best. So we'll see. And the big one for the weekend was Deontay Wilder and Dominic Breazeale. It was all over in 2 minutes and 17 seconds. Very good performance from Deontay Wilder. I thought we might get a few more rounds out of it, considering Dominic Breazeale's pretty durable, but if you're gonna block punches with your face from the heaviest puncher in the division, you're gonna end up on your back, starfished, just as Dominic Breazeale did. So well done to Deontay Wilder, and that'll be the last we see of Dominic Breazeale at elite level for a while, I imagine. I expect he's gonna drop out of all governing bodies top 15s, and yeah, it is what it is. There is a couple of things Deontay Wilder said prior to the fight that I do agree with. The biggest one being, he says Dominic Breazeale didn't belong there, and for me that's quite big when the champion of your governing body is saying that the mandatory didn't belong there. And let's face it, Dominic Breazeale did not earn the mandatory position. He got it through a legal technicality. So that's what you get. And unfortunately for Deontay Wilder, the two mandatories he has faced have been of similar situations and similar quality. They didn't belong there, and it's really made the WBC look like a farce with their mandatory schedule. Hopefully the next time around we're going to see somebody who actually deserves a shot at the WBC belt. So the fight itself, yeah, Dominic was pretty hesitant. He caught a right hand pretty early and pretty much didn't want to throw punches after that, or didn't want to get it in too close. I said in my prediction video that I thought Dominic's best game plan would have been to try and get in on Deontay's chest and stop being at the full extension of Deontay's punches because that's where they're most powerful. But he didn't even try to get inside on Deontay. He wanted to box long, and he paid the price. Deontay did hit him with a right hand when he was on the back foot, and it stunned Dominic, stumbled across the ring, and that's where we saw Wilder almost do his windmill go wild thing. Got Dominic into the corner and started throwing carelessly, and somebody like Dominic Breazeale, who can actually bang but is slow as shit, threw back a couple of right hands that clipped Deontay clean and staggered him backwards. And I think that kind of woke Deontay up, made him realise that, shit, I can hurt this guy, but he's still dangerous. He did grab hold of Breazeale. They broke up a few more, lots of feints and a few jabs here and there before they got broken up again, and then Deontay set up his big right hand with a good jab that blinded Breazeale, put him on his ass, and he wasn't getting up. Not in time for the count anyway. I mean, he was out cold for 6 to 7 seconds before he started trying to make a move to try and get up, and the referee stopped the fight. Didn't get to the end of the count, but stopped the fight pretty much where 10 would have been anyway. Now Dominic has protested and said that the referee may have stopped the fight a little bit early, but no. It wasn't like the situation with Tyson Fury when Deontay Wilder hit him in the 12th. Fury went down, but he was awake after 3 seconds, not a problem, and he just took his time, made sure he got up in time for the count, but didn't get up too quickly as to stagger and have the referee stop the fight. So, a bit different in my opinion. But all in all, a little bit of an interesting weekend with an absolutely fantastic finale to watch at the end, with Wilder knocking Breazeale clean the fuck out. So let us know your thoughts of the fights over the weekend. I'd like to hear some more comments about the two fighters that pretty much have found their level. Oh, before I forget, there was also one other fight of interest. It was, excuse my pronunciation if I get it wrong, Aslandinik Makhmudov, a very promising prospect, up and coming with 100% KO ratio, fought journeyman Jonathan Rice, who used a lot of movement and footwork to avoid the heavy hands of Makhmudov for the first few rounds. Come round 6, it was starting to get a bit harder for Rice to keep on the move. Makhmudov was catching up with him, landed quite a few punches, and there was a big flurry. I think it was in the 7th round, and the referee stopped the fight without Rice going down, but he was getting pummeled for a minute. Rice did protest and thought the stoppage was a premature stoppage. I'll be inclined to agree with him, but at the same time, Makhmudov was really starting to pour it on, and I don't think Rice's plan of trying to get Makhmudov to punch himself out in the first little while and possibly take him late was going to work. Makhmudov was going to beat the shit out of him. So yeah, premature stoppage, but yes, we get this in boxing sometimes, but I don't think it would have changed the outcome too much anyway. So yeah, that's my wrap up for the heavyweight action for the weekend. Looking forward to reading some of your comments. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please don't forget to give me the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Big Boys Boxing, we out. See you.